Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. On this week's episode, I am redoing the episode I recorded on Friday. Oh, wow. I just brushed my hair the wrong way. If you're watching the video, you're getting the real deal here. Um yeah, I recorded the entire episode on Friday, and then I realized it had no audio. That would be the first time that's happened to me. Um so shame on me for 6 weeks. Um, this is the device that I was using. So it's a USB to USB C. If you're watching on the video, so I got an adapter because my microphone here plugs in to the USB port, and on my new computer it does not plug into the USB C. So I had to get that. And the way I typically recorded, which was lazy, I would just record Zoom calls, even like self Zoom calls. I know it's pathetic, but I was just lazy with it, and sure enough, I guess it wasn't picking up that audio. So this time I'm recording it through QuickTime, and we'll see how this does. Um, but yikes, this looks like it's gonna be a gig per 10 minutes. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, um, so yeah, this episode I'm going to talk to you about CZ and Binance in trouble, and all kinds of other things going on with the SEC coming down on them and the others in the crypto world. Um, Lots of warnings of liquidity providers, and then also talk about searching for Satoshi. Um, so before you get into that, I want to shout out the Bitbox O2 hardware wallet from Bitbox. That would be Bitbox, no longer Shift Crypto, which is another reason why you guys should like them even more, because they got rid of that shitcoinery word called known as crypto and branded themselves just as Bitbox. So you can go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple and use the promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off. And a little tidbit, if you're a libertarian, you know this name. Tom Woods, I saw he tweeted earlier today and said that he said it's a little embarrassing to admit, but I just got my Bitcoin off the exchange for the first time. And I will tell you all that I guarantee you there's more people that have Bitcoin on exchanges than you'd think. So what you need to do is get your Bitcoin off the exchange and be one of the few way ahead of the game. So buy yourself a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet, and you will be thrilled with your purchase. So, anyways, that also shout out to Upstream Data. Get all your mining needs at upstreamdata.ca. And then also Movies Plus. MyMoviesPlus.com. Use the promo code Cory. You don't want to be the last one to use that. There have been tons of you that have used it, and it humbles me and blows me away that you guys have used it. So I appreciate that. There's some stuff with Movies Plus, decent partnership coming out that I can't wait to tell you guys about. But and I'll give little bits of details of just what the crazy world of the movie industry is like. So, with all that being said, without further ado, I got my tooth pulled this week. On Friday. That has nothing to do with Bitcoin here nor there. But have you ever had your tooth pulled? I'm 37 years old, and I finally had my wisdom teeth pulled. And they'll apparently just do it with pliers. And so yeah, I had my wisdom teeth pulled, just in the office, just with pliers, just yanking them out of your head. It's kind of disconcerting to see how easily your tooth can come out. But what are you gonna do? Now I just have this gap where there's no tooth, and it feels really weird. And I really hope that eventually the gums puff up or whatever and just take over, so that I don't have this weird spot. But maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know. Susie, I think you listen. And if you do, you can give me some advice here on how to battle this. And what's I expect over the next couple of months. I apologize if I seem foggy, but today was one of those days where I woke up and just have not fully woken up the entire day. Um, and it also rained here for the first time in 30 days, which is, if you know Pittsburgh at all, it's very un-Pittsburgh like. Pittsburgh has rain pretty frequently, a lot of overcast, and we just had sunny days for like 30 straight days, and then all of a sudden it rained, so it puts you in a little bit of an Eeyore mood. Just down. Oh no, woe is me. So that combined with the fact that I woke up weird, just like off, not 100% today. But to try and rehash the podcast that I recorded last week without recording it, it would tell you it was frustrating because I went to just check on the video, and the video's there, and there's no noise. I think I said some pretty profound things that were going to change everyone's lives, and now they're lost forever. But that being said, that's like the third time I said that being said. I'm, like I told you guys, tired today. But talking about the Binance issue, my details are not perfect on this, but I think CZ has been, the SEC has sent a cease and desist to Binance to stop operating in the United States. I don't know how much they were operating in the United States anyways, but I know I saw reports of people saying that they were having trouble withdrawing their accounts and withdrawing their stacks. So that's not a good sign. And then you have, so a lot of people in the Bitcoin world, like I say in the Bitcoin world, like I don't really even call them Bitcoiners anymore, but like Brian Armstrong with Coinbase and everybody like that, they're like really upset. Their tighty whities are in a bunch. It's as if their tighty whities were pulled up and put on the doorknob, and they can no longer touch the ground, and they're just sitting there whining about the fact that they're getting wedgied, self-wedgied. But a lot of people have been saying it all along. So I learned from others. So I'm not sitting here saying, you should have listened to me. I'm saying, get your coins off the exchange, people. It's a matter of time. And you should not be shitcoining. Shame on you for 6 weeks if you've been shitcoining. So, I might use that phrase from time to time, but that is borrowed from the great Mike Lang, who was the announcer was the announcer for the Penguins. Still is alive, but he retired. And he had a lot of great sayings, one of which was, if you missed this game, shame on you for 6 weeks. But if you were a shitcoiner, shame on you for more than 6 weeks. But you should learn from your mistakes and get out of the situation you put yourself in and get Bitcoin only. There's also warnings of liquidity problems from providers like Prime Trust, or as Hodl Magoo so eloquently puts them, it calls them Prime Thrust. I think, and don't take what I'm saying as gospel. I think Swan had recently updated and moved away from Prime Trust. I think Strike had as well. But you have to, it led me to tweet the other day. I said, I think the only way to get Bitcoin safely is honestly to mine it. Because you don't think about it with all those exchanges, but they got to be getting that Bitcoin somewhere. And then if you don't have it in your BitBox02 hardware wallet, you are putting it at risk of being commingled or at risk of being not there, rehypothecated, fractional reserve banking. That type of stuff apparently keeps happening. So get your coins off the exchange, but you know, it just made me think. I'm like, I keep going back to this thought of that. I don't think the main people in the world, I don't think most people in the world are gonna operate on the main chain. It's just a reality, I think, at this point, because it's way too complicated for them to understand. And especially in the day that if the only safe way to mine Bitcoin or to get Bitcoin is to mine it, that might, and I don't say, I mean, there will always be a way to buy it somewhere, but you'll probably run out of custody options, and eventually, I think only you won't be able to self custody at some point, or it will be very difficult to self custody. I don't know exactly if that's like the operation choke point that people talk about. I know that the choke point's more in referral to the on ramps, fiat on and off ramps. But what if it's also in regards to the off and on ramps for where to send your Bitcoin? What if you can only buy your Bitcoin on an exchange, and then you normally go in and like, hey, I'm going to send it, here's my address, gonna send it off the exchange to my Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. And when you go to do that, it goes, you are ineligible to withdraw Bitcoin from your account, or we no longer support sending Bitcoin from your Coinbase account to a external wallet for your safety. I'm sure it will be for your safety. It will be for your benefit. They're just looking out for you, after all. They're not doing anything nefarious. And just trying to protect you from the next FTX collapse and all these things. But yeah, what if those liquidity providers that are backstopping the exchanges don't have all the Bitcoin that they claim they have? So then that becomes an even bigger problem. And it just makes you think back to how difficult it must have been to buy Bitcoin, how risky it must have felt to buy Bitcoin back in the day. I didn't buy Bitcoin from Mt. Gox, but can you imagine how risky that must have felt to buy Bitcoin off the exchange back then? It's wild to think about. But I mean, I know this is before Mt. Gox, but I gotta look up what episode it was. But one of my early episodes with Guy Swan, where he details his initiation into Bitcoin, and it took him and his brother, Agorist View is Jeff Swan's account on Twitter. It took them, I don't remember exactly, but I think it took them like 30 days, 3 maybe 4 weeks to get their cash into a position where they could actually buy Bitcoin. Wow, all the way over 2 years ago. BMS 008 with Guy Swan. It was a 2 hour and 18-minute episode. We were crushing it. It's a good episode. Eesh. Right next to that is I interviewed somebody from BlockFi. Look out. Hello. And yeah, so anyways, when they got in, they had to buy Bitcoin. So yeah, go to BMS 008 all the way, number 8, all the way back at the beginning, and listen to me as like probably sound like a total, even more amateur, like noob that knows nothing. But Guy's story is great, where he just explains how he got into Bitcoin and really kind of rehashes the what's it called, the block size wars and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I remember him telling me that, it took many weeks in order to get their cash in the place. So much so that the price had gone from like 10 cents all the way up to like, I don't know, $30 maybe, or forget what it was. You'll find out in the episode. Maybe $1. I don't know. And then it crashed. So, you gotta be thankful in a way that there are these exchanges where you can go and buy your Bitcoin relatively easily. But at the same time, it's a blessing and a curse. But when you think about mass adoption, how is mass adoption going to happen? I mean, the average person was never going to buy Bitcoin off of Mt. Gox or BitInstant or any of those old places where, it was sketchier and sketchier. Yeah, the average person wasn't going to do that. The average person was always going to buy it off of an exchange, and the average person was probably not ever going to self-custody. So if you want to put yourself in the top 1% of Bitcoiners, I don't know if that's an accurate number. I'm just making shit up. But if you put yourself in the top 1% of Bitcoiners, definitely top 10%. Less than 10% of people that buy Bitcoin. I would put Bitcoin on it, that less than 10% of the people that have bought Bitcoin in their life have self-custodied it. So let's just say 1%. If you want to be in the top 1% of Bitcoiners, you better self-custody it. Because, things like the SEC saying everything that you're selling is a security. And, as much as it's like, oh, why do we listen to government agencies? We've also been saying for a long time that Bitcoin's the only thing that's real. Everything else is a scam. There's a reason we say these things. But then, yeah, when they get a cease and desist on U.S. soil, and they're just stuck, and you can't get your coins off the exchange, you don't want to do that. Don't want to be in that situation. So, yeah, get your coins off the. Sounds like it's a long infomercial, but I'm also walking through my mind. I also wanted to play this exercise, so I did do this on my recorded episode that ended up not having audio. Let me try and run through this again, and maybe it'll be less clumsy, but maybe it'll just be as clumsy, and it'll sound stupid, whatever. Seems to me that it would be like having an ATM that you plug in to the wall, and it spits out $3 a day, and it costs $3 to run. Or if it's a higher powered one, it costs $10 a day to run, and it spits out $10 a day. So you're turning electricity into money, but fortunately in the Bitcoin world, it's a Bitcoin that you're turning it into, the hardest money possible. You can't beat that. And maybe that's the only way you can self-custody in the future. So who knows? I don't know. These are the scenarios that run around in my mind as I think about these things. I don't know. Don't know what it'll look like in the future, but I just know that you should be prepared. Also wanted to talk to you guys about Searching for Satoshi. I'll put the trailer in the show notes again, but Searching for Satoshi, you guys should check it out. I'm pretty happy with the trailer, the way the trailer turned out, but open to your feedback. Send me any feedback that you have, but I'm pretty happy with where it's at. And I think that it would, I think it's going to be an exciting film, but I wanted to let you guys know that you can, in a way, kind of help crowdfund it. I mean, hey, if you want to just like directly invest in it and become an equity partner or something like that, like really, I'm doing this one out of pocket. So in order to film this movie, I just need to get like probably $20,000 worth of travel covered. So if you're the person that has $20,000 worth of Bitcoin sitting around, and it's enough for you to say, yeah, I want to make this movie, then any support you could send, that would be dope. And you could, I mean, who knows? Maybe you'd be an equity partner in it. I'm not sitting here trying to pitch an investment. I'm really not. But if you cover my travel expenses, then you can be an equity partner in it. If you do it fully, and we could go through that whole process, and then maybe this movie makes money. I don't know. Maybe Netflix buys it. I don't know. But I just want to make it because I've been talking about making it. And I'm pretty happy with where it's going so far. I think we're going down the right path. But in order to help me offset costs, if you're just someone that you want to throw a bone my way, that'd be greatly appreciated. Because you've heard me vent about being a business owner, is that it was the best of times and it was the worst of times, and it was the worst of times and it was the worst of times. Business is going well, but I'm not in a position yet to carve out cash to say, hey, that should go towards this documentary that I want to make. I'm also not fully supporting myself with the company. As you know, I tell you guys all the time, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to go be willing to go at least a year without a paycheck. And then at that point, you got to be willing to just scrape by. So yeah, self-funding a documentary whenever you've been doing nothing but depleting your resources is a difficult sell to push across to my wife, where she's like, oh, really? More money out the door. So yeah, so if anybody wants to, the whole point of bringing this up is this is my shameless way to say, if you want to help out, you can crowdfund it per se. I'll put the link in there, but you can go to mymoviesplus.com/searching-for-Satoshi, FOR. So, and you can pre-buy the film. So you'll own a digital copy. Wow. A digital copy of the film. You'll own that. And then you'll get to have that. And then if you pre-buy it and you want your name in the credit or something, just let me know. I'm totally cool with that. Anybody that helps this engine go. Yeah, but every $20 helps. Because like I said, I'd like to go to, without spoiling too much, there's a certain spouse of a certain someone in the Bay Area that I would like to go speak with about the early days of Bitcoin. And as you guys know by the trailer, I'm not trying to actually find out who Satoshi is, but really explore the ideas. So there's a lot, the travel involves going and talking to, people all over the world that are the early movers in the cryptography cypherpunk era. So yeah, you can go there, you can pre-buy it, and that goes directly towards helping fund this film so that it can get out there and be seen. And I guess I should probably take up guys were like, hey, put it up here and we'll help you out. So that'd be interesting as well. But yeah, that's what I got for searching for Satoshi. And that's what I got for today. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple and use the promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off. Go to mymoviesplus.com/searching-for-Satoshi, and I'd be happy to help have anybody come on board and help me produce this film. And then use the promo code Cory if you haven't already. If you're one of the millions of listeners that have not used it, then please do. But I appreciate all of your support. That's CORY, and it's mymoviesplus.com. You can use the promo code, get 1 year for $24, and I will talk to you guys later.